take some shelter from the rain. So I'll take this opportunity to explain to you something more about the dragon's path and the reason why we are actually called grey witches. Witches can be actually, yeah, in every branch. Witches, you have Satanist witches, you have Christian witches, you have, I don't know, Luciferian witches, you have Wicca witches. You can actually have all kinds of witches. You can have in each and every genre, you have witches. But you can color the witches. And that is the intention of what the witch actually is. You can have red witches, you can have green witches. Green witches means that they're very good in herbs, and they are very well taught in herbs, and those are the ones that are easily being executed back in the day in the Middle Ages, because it was weird. And also they took away the jobs from the church, the church with their medicines. So yeah, witches. We are grey witches. We don't have this knowledge of herbs or anything like it. But what we have actually knowledge of, and that is the reason why actually they call us the unlikely witch, that is because we don't seek to be one. And most of the cases in other witches, they are actually seeking to be one, seeking to be a witch. They are very drawn into the magic that they choose, but actually we as well, but we don't choose the magic that is actually human. And that is the thing with a lot of witches. They are seeking for something human. They are seeking for something humane. But the thing is, with us, we are not seeking for something humane or human. We seek what we feel, and what we feel is solitary. So we don't actually go to a priest saying, what do I have to do? We don't do anything. I mean, that is typically dragon witches. We don't need to do anything, and we don't have this obligation to do something. And of course, you can have in all witches genres, you can have also grey witches. For example, you can have Luciferian witches who are grey. I mean, they are not stuck to one color. Of course, grey witches means not immediately means that it's a dragon witch, of course not. But they are very rebellious, and that is the reason why they color us grey. Dragons in itself are very much rebels, and they don't care for laws or human laws or whatever they. I mean, that is the same thing why I became, for example, a hunt saboteur. I go against the law. I go against what is written. I go against it, and that is very much rebellious. That is the draconic part, actually, that is far more stronger than to obey human laws or human habits. And that is typically also a grey witch. A grey witch doesn't listen to humans, doesn't only listens to his or her heart. And with us, in our case, a dragon heart is always going to be a grey heart. Of course, also, grey witches also don't see darkness as maleficent or something bad necessarily. Grey witches see the darkness as something that you have to neutralize with. That is also the reason why I always wear black. Black is actually the color that my dragon came for the first time. It means a new beginning, but it also neutralizes you with the darkness. And the darkness is typically also something that occurs in the dragon's path and draconic Wicca. Draconic Wicca doesn't mean Wicca because we are not a religion. We could never fit in a religion. And that is also typically a grey witch. None of the grey witches will follow another. None of the grey witches will actually obey the laws of another who claims to be higher. I'm not higher than you, you are not higher than me. We are all going individual on our own path. And that is very much a grey witch. A grey witch doesn't listen to anyone, only to the group that is surrounding them. A spiritual group. Not group of humans, but a group of spirits around them that will advise them and guide them. That is, they very much, grey witches believe in the spirits and energies of the earth. They are basically very much close to nature and very, very far away from humans. And that is very much dragons. Dragons, you cannot go further away than dragons from humans. And that is also what makes us very much a grey witch. We are not someone who can, you can put a color in it. Grey, of course, isn't seen as the most beautiful color. So we will much be pushed away by society, and they won't see us as like, oh, interesting or something like this. For example, someone who is in Wicca and who obeys the laws, for example, of most of the time these are being called white witches. White witches that are here to do to do some good for humanity and to do some good for everyone. But I don't see it like this, and that is why our color is very much demonized. Just the same thing as with the dragons. We are very much demonized, but the dragons themselves as well. Just by the side of the green witches, we were the ones, actually the grey witches, that were very easily burned at the stake because we didn't care about the villagers. We didn't care about their laws. We didn't care about their priests, and they would be very furious about this outcast, because grey witches are outcasts, very much 100% outcasts. We are not wanted anywhere, or even in groups. We actually from the beginning actually don't care to be in group. Actually, I did 7 years my spirituality alone. Everyone's saying it's stupid, it's crazy, but I continue it anyway because I knew what I felt and I knew what kind of a sensation that is. And that is also very much a grey witch. We don't listen to them. We don't care whatever they say. Even though in the beginning I pretended I cared, but in fact in the end I didn't. Like I said, I go against the law, and that is whatever we do. We actually, and those were the grey witches, burned at the stake, we were the ones that will curse this entire village for all eternity. And that is whatever we would have done. Also in the name of the dragon, we would have cursed them because we are one with darkness. We are one with the light. We are reaching for the light, but we are also very much reaching for the darkness. And that is why they also very much demonize us so much. But it's actually what we are seeking for is the truth, is the reality. That you could see us as rebels. For example, I used to be a Catholic, but oh my goddess, I ditched that very quickly once I was with the dragon. Of course, I had very much issues when I went into the church with my grandma who passed away. Oh goddess, I had such issues to obey whatever they said to me, to rise and to sing and to chant for God. Oh goddess. The only one that I listen to is guidance, and guidance from our dragons. And those are not commands. We are not following commands from dragons. You cannot command a grey witch. Never, ever, ever. Not even the spirits by our side. And they know it, because also their spirit is very much grey. The dragon spirit is very much grey. They know very much that our draconic energy is very much not listening to anyone or anything. We are doing whatever we desire. And that in itself can give conflict with humans around you very much. And that can give our lives actually very difficult. Our lives can be very difficult, and we can have a lot of conflicts with humans because we don't obey them. We don't care whatever they want from us. We just do it. The only reason why I go to a job is because I need to survive. But other than that, no one has to say whatever I have to do. And even the dragons by our side are guidances, but I love them so much. And that is the reason why we are dragon witches, grey witches at the same time. We use magic, but not magic to love and light. Also not magic to Satan and darkness. We use it how we actually desire it. And how we desire it is for everyone different of us. But it makes us all dragon witches and grey witches. Unlikely witches, also what they call us. Unlikely, but it's like we are from another world. Sometimes they say to me that I am like an alien, like some kind of an extraterrestrial being. And actually, that is not that far away, because the dragon is from the fifth gate, is from very, very far away. Basically, we are not belonging in this place. We have to fit in, we have to work, we have to go to school, we have such difficulties in doing that. But in the end, most of us manage to do so by putting on a mask, and that is whatever we do, we put on a mask. But it suffocates us sometimes, and that is also very much the Grey Witch. We don't want to wear this mask, but sometimes we have no choice. But other than that, no one tells us whatever we need to do. And in my path, actually, I try to purify the name of the dragon. Of course, everyone demonizes that, and everyone demonizes me, but I don't mind. As long as I can reach for you, my brothers and sisters. Reach for you, and of course, Grey Witches doesn't mean that you are male or female. Even though, if you put Grey Witches on the internet, you will see images of women. But in fact, like women and like men, we don't really care about that. We don't really care what we are, man or female, male. We just try to seek out what we are, but in the end, we don't mind that. It doesn't bind us. It doesn't, nothing actually binds us. Nothing at all. We are always going to be free. If it's, I have a lot of female, how shall I say it, some kind of a DNA. The way I sit is so much female, but I don't care. I don't also care about if I'm gay or not. I don't mind that. If I would say, oh, it's okay to be gay, but I don't know, and I don't care, and the only thing that I actually know is that we are on the dragon's path, and I love it to bits. I love it very much, and no one has to tell me whatever I need to do in this path, and no one has to say about rules, and I have such a to be very honest, I have difficulties with human rules and human laws. If I may be so bold, my brothers and sisters, one of these rules that I actually see to myself, that my dragon actually said, it doesn't mean if humans have a law and to you it doesn't seem ethical or it doesn't seem right, then I should say go against it. That is just the same thing that I'm doing now, to go against these hunters and go against, even though the law says they are allowed to do it, I say they are not, and I go against it. And that is typically a Grey Witch, a Dragon Witch. My brothers and sisters, be blessed.